Welcome
to OGS office tour.
Let's go! First up, we have our producer's table. Oh, only Nicole wants to care about us. This is Kim. She just showered in the toilet, which has a shower. You can't see.
Yeah!
Okay, and next up, we're entering now the kitchen. Oh, you need to turn the other way.
Oh, shit.
That's the pot that Nippon painted. This is the pantry that Recolor did for us. That is the cactus that is fake. Money plant to make us earn more money. That's the Can Ask Me backdrop. And our something private, like a podcast. Okay, bye!
Hi guys, I'm Amrit. I'm a Vidjan.
Oh my god! And I'm Wen-Qi. I'm a clown. Wait, what am I?
You are a video journalist.
Hi, I'm Wen-Qi and I'm a video journalist at OGS. Today we will be giving you all an office tour as well as
answering some questions from this booklet. Can answer me?
What do you like most about your job here? I guess I like it that my job is kind of varied. So I have days where I still go out on shoot and I write stories, and the other side I have to do the management stuff, and that keeps things interesting for me. These varied aspects is what I like most.
Back then when we were very small, the Vidjan did everything. So you did the interviewing, you did the editing, you did
I guess what you don't see is also problem solving, all the difficulties on shoot. Yeah, I guess that is also an exciting part or something that's very, very, very challenging but rewarding when you get it right. Yeah. What goes on behind the scenes of an OGS video? A lot. So we research, it can be online, it can be offline, it can be word of mouth. I guess getting the access to the contact is a very big challenge. That person must be willing to talk, and that is kind of out of your control. Yeah, so that's why I say in doing stories, you need that affinity also.
Hey, sorry, are we having our head meetings or later?
No, we're not.
Oh, okay. Then go shower first.
Most favourite video you've worked on? Ooh! For this year, it has to be CAG. Yuan was the one directing. I was there just filming, but it was so fun to film because number one is trees and jewel, and after you're done with shoot, you can eat at nice places.
Okay, my old favourite is Pulau Ubin Crab Hunter. It's because I had a connection with the uncle. Then the experience of me when I shot him, I went to the mangroves and I was carrying the camera above my head.
I remember you came back with a lot of sandfly bites.
I had 200 over sandfly bites. I think I still have photos. I had to ask Matt and Karen, can I don't come back? I'm filled with sandfly bites. Then they're like, okay.
When did you first feel like OGS was going somewhere?
I think we first felt like OGS was going somewhere when we started getting more recognition, I guess. You can see people wanting to engage with your content.
Yeah.
And then also when we first got our first branded job, I think that is a recognition that a brand like Nippon Paint, which is not directly associated to anything we mentioned, was willing to, jump on that. Actually thinking back, maybe Nippon was with us at some pivotal moments. Our first branded job was Nippon. And then when we have our first office, Nippon was also involved. I came up to see them when they painted the walls. And they really put in effort one. They tape up every corner that they don't want the paint to get on. Yeah, and they provided some wall inspection where they check our walls, what paint is suitable for this wall and things like that.
I think it's quite cool because we did a couple of other videos with Nippon, and you get to learn about how their paint is made, and they have this odorless quality, and then they also have a lot of QC that they go through. It's quite interesting to see how they are very serious about paint,
And with that,
we're done.
We've completed the Can Answer Me.
I hope we do a double chin here.
We're now in the best part of our office pantry. And usually it's not so stocked up. But for y'all, we decided to stock up our fridge, our drawer. But I tell you, the most hot selling item in our pantry is Milo and snacks. Because got rats like that.
And one more thing, all these pantry lights and the pantry top that you see is from Recolor, which is a one-stop home furnishing gallery. But I'll tell you more about this at the gallery itself. So let's go. So I'm here at Recolor with Brenna. Thank you for having me. So if you are planning a space, what are some things that you should consider when you think about lights?
It depends on how the owner wants to dress up the area or
Yeah.
portray the features of the area. Like for example, offices, people tend to use whiter colors, but we recommend a warmer colors, like more to the cool white, so it makes it very comfortable, soothing, and more conducive for work as well.
I see a lot of things around here. Could you share what we can find at Recolor?
Oh, sure. In Recolor, we are more like a one-stop home furnishing gallery. So we have like lightings, bathroom accessories, curtain blinds, wallpaper, vinyl flooring, or even smart home system.
It's a disco, guys.
That's right.
So basically a one-stop shop for everything you need.
Exactly. So it's a single locations for all your home furnishing needs.
Hello, I'm Pei Fang.
Hello, I'm Kareem.
You say. Oh yeah, I say. Yeah, usually we are on the other side of the camera. I don't know why today we are sitting here being interviewed.
Yeah.
Right?
And then like the visuals look like that.
How do you find stories profiles for a Canasmere episode? Usually it's topics that interest us, and then we will have like some criteria for the profiles. Then we will go and find. Usually it's like either from organizations or from like our personal contacts. So we ask friend or friend or friend or friend.
I think like producers are quite good at stalking people.
Oh yes,
Yeah.
it's true.
Yeah. How do you prepare yourself before a Can Ask Me shoot? So we come 1 hour before the shoot to do the setup, write the questions onto our booklet. The profiles will come and we will just brief them on what to expect. We already did a pre-interview with them, so like we know like their personality in a way, and then we will try to think of like, oh, how do we like work around the questioning to show their personality best lah. So yeah.
Honestly, it's very freestyle on set. Yeah.
Do you have any memorable profiles?
Memorable profiles. Yeah, Dementia was an interesting episode because actually before shoot I was like quite stressed. For someone who cannot remember things, how do you get them to tell you the same story? We have to throw away the script law in a way. You have to just go with the flow, let your profile take charge of the interview. So that was like a memorable experience. Yeah.
What's the most difficult thing about being a Can Ask Me video producer?
Everything is difficult.
Yeah lor.
No easy.
Yeah lor.
Sometimes you have the topic, then you are like, oh, this topic is good. But if you don't have like the right profile to help you carry that,
Either they are not open to the idea of being in front of the camera, or like we just cannot find others. So I think like those were the times when we felt like, we didn't have the diversity we wanted.
I think we made a lot of mistakes with Last Man. And we learned along the way lah. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
What is this one?
What's your favorite Can Ask Me episode?
Oh, I have.
Okay, you say.
I like the gang one.
Ah.
Yeah, the gang.
Ex-offenders.
Ex-offenders one. The profiles are very interesting, very unique. They were very open to sharing. So there's a lot of perspectives that hasn't been presented before in other media outlets. So I think that was a refreshing episode. It's my favorite.
What's my favorite?
Everything is your favorite. Can Ask Me is your favorite.
Yeah, Can Ask Me is my favorite. Honestly, ever since I like focus on Can Ask Me, I feel that like a lot of things you may not even have think about them, you know. But then like when it's a topic that's being brought up, then you realize that, oh yeah, I have been like ignorant about this. So like maybe I should like listen and learn a bit more. Yeah, it's to increase that appreciation, and that is like what we hope for.
Timeless and overlooked stories.
Evergreen. Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so that's all we have for you guys today.
Okay, thank you. Back up. Okay. So, who will be editing this? You are.
Oh, hi,
Yeah,
I'm
hola.
Leon, the editor. So we basically have 3 mini Can Ask Me segments, and each of those segments are like an hour long. So there's a lot of rushes to look through. Takes a lot of work. Not like you all would know. But luckily we have Omnidesk tables, and I'm gonna tell you more. Sure thing.
Today we're at Omnidesk where we're going to find out how to choose the right desk for you with Kenny. So Kenny, do you have any tips for people who want to choose their first Omnidesk?
Well, your first Omnidesk has got to be fully height adjustable because you want to sit and stand whenever you want. The next tip is having a beveled edge. You spend a lot of your time with your wrist on your table, and after a couple of hours, it will start to hurt. And having a beveled edge actually helps with that. And these are my tips on finding the perfect Omnidesk. Because it's a very nice color contrast.
Right, yeah. The grain looks better also.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome to Something Private Podcast.
And O+.
Our lives are so different.
I'm Chi. I do motion graphics for O+. Yeah, that's it.
Hi,
Yes, hi.
I'm Nicole. I host and produce a podcast under our grandfather's story called Something Private.
What do you do in OGS? I draw, I animate, do motion graphics. I feel like there's a lot more steps in between, but let's just stick to that for now.
What I do is that I source for interviews. I interview people on my show, very much like,
Oh my god, this is a talk show right
this
now.
is basically
Holy
an episode of Something
shit.
Private. This is what I do, and
Something
then
public.
Something public.
So O+ basically takes everything that OGS can't do in documentaries and makes it like animation form.
You can't really video.
Yeah, so it's like a lot better to do it like in an animated infographic kind of way, you know?
Yep. Something Private is a podcast for Southeast Asian women. We talk about topics that shows a bit more vulnerable parts of individuals. What do you enjoy most about your job? Everybody offers a very unique and interesting perspective on their life. So my job lets me do a lot of that. Like I get to speak to a variety of individuals coming from like different backgrounds with like different opinions on things. They help me broaden my horizons, the way I view the world. So
Animations are pretty cool. Like that whole concept was just like taking the story all the way to the animation, and then the sound design comes in, and suddenly the video is like 10 times better. So something you can only dream of in animation school. You know, I got very lucky. When did you first feel like Something Private and O+ was going somewhere? I feel like
I'm struggling.
I feel like we have a long way to go.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I agree. It's very hard not to compare yourself to platforms that do super well, and that can be quite like painful sometimes because you put a lot of effort into your work.
It's true. As a motion graphics person, like at O+, we're kind of faceless, you know what I'm saying? I feel like people attack Nicole more because like, you know, her face is out there and people like to bash on things.
So sometimes I think like the audience can get a bit tired, or maybe they lose a bit of interest along the way. So I think it's difficult to kind of continue to provide value or to show that this is something that's important to listen to.
You're always thinking that, oh, you're not really doing much, but I feel like we're going somewhere.
Yeah, I would say that like both platforms are headed somewhere. It's just maybe not really up to our expectations
Right.
yet. Yeah.
Right. We still have a long way
We
to
have a
go.
long way to go. Yeah. We're working on it lah.
Yeah.
See.
Okay, Ken, let's move on.
Okay, we've come to the end of... why do I say okay? Alright, we have come to the end of our office tour, and we'd like to give a shout out to Nippon Paint, Omnidesk and Recolor for helping us with our office.
And of course, thanks to our profiles who have appeared on our videos, as well as the audience for tuning in the past 4 years. It's been quite a long journey, but we still have many more years to go, hopefully. So keep watching and keep tuning in.
Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Bye. Filtering.
Hey, we harmonize it! Feel, trip, feel, trip, feel, trip, feel.